It's September the 2nd. Let's read the Bible. Friends, welcome back. Here we are from Genesis to Revelation in just 1 year. Now today, we're coming to the end of the book of Proverbs. We're going to read Proverbs 29, 30, and 31. And these last few chapters, a couple of things here, starting in chapter 25 through 29, these are the Proverbs of Solomon that he composed, but he didn't personally include them in this book. They were included by King Hezekiah's scribes. They had been preserved in the records, and some roughly 200 years after Solomon, these chapters were created. Then in chapter 30, we're going to meet a man named Agur, A-G-U-R, and then in chapter 31, we're going to meet King Lemuel. So here we are, folks, second day of September, coming to the end of Proverbs. What an amazing book. Let me begin to read. Proverbs 29. One who becomes stiff-necked after many reprimands will be shattered instantly beyond recovery. When the righteous flourish, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, people groan. I talked about this at the end of yesterday's reading. When the righteous flourish, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, people groan. We've had enough rule in our world of wicked people. We need more righteous men and women in places of authority, and the people would rejoice. A man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but one who consorts with prostitutes destroys his wealth. By justice, a king brings stability to a land, but a person who demands contributions demolishes it. A person who flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his feet. An evil person is caught by sin, but the righteous one sings and rejoices. The righteous person knows the rights of the poor, but the wicked one does not understand these concerns. Mockers inflame a city, but the wise turn away anger. If a wise person goes to court with a fool, there will be ranting and raving, but no resolution. Bloodthirsty men hate an honest person, but the upright care about him. A fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise person holds it in check. If a ruler listens to lies, all his officials will be wicked. The poor and the oppressed have this in common. The Lord gives light to the eyes of both. A king who judges the poor with fairness, his throne will be established forever. A rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a youth left to himself is a disgrace to his mother. When the wicked increase, rebellion increases, but the righteous will see their downfall. Discipline your child. It will bring you peace of mind and give you delight. Without revelation, people run wild. But one who follows divine instruction will be happy. A servant cannot be disciplined by words. Though he understands, he doesn't respond. Do you see someone who speaks too soon? There is more hope for a fool than for him. A servant pampered from his youth will become arrogant later on. An angry person stirs up conflict, and a hot-tempered one increases rebellion. A person's pride will humble him, but a humble spirit will gain honor. To be a thief's partner is to hate oneself. He hears the curse, but will not testify. The fear of mankind is a snare, but the one who trusts in the Lord is protected. Many desire a ruler's favor, but a person receives justice from the Lord. An unjust person is detestable to the righteous, and one whose way is upright is detestable to the wicked. And so ends the Proverbs of Solomon. Yet there are 2 chapters. Here we go, chapter 30. The words of Agur, son of Jacob, the pronouncement. The man's oration to Ithiel and Ucal. I am more stupid than any other person, and I lack a human's ability to understand. I have not gained wisdom, and I have no knowledge of the Holy One. Who has gone up to heaven and come down? Who has gathered the wind in his hands? Who has bound up the waters in a cloak? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? What is the name of his son, if you know? Every word of God is pure. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. Don't add to his words, or he will rebuke you, and you will be proved a liar. 2 things I ask of you. Don't deny them to me before I die. Keep falsehood and deceitful words far from me. Give me neither poverty nor wealth. Feed me with the food I need. Otherwise, I might have too much and deny you, saying, Who is the Lord? Or I might have nothing and steal, profaning the name of my God. See this? What a prayer. Give me neither poverty nor wealth. Put me in the happy medium, Lord. Give me what I need. Give me the daily bread I need. Verse 10, don't slander a servant to his master, or he will curse you, and you will become guilty. There is a generation that curses its father and does not bless its mother. There is a generation that is pure in its own eyes, yet is not washed from its filth. There is a generation, how haughty its eyes and pretentious its looks. There is a generation whose teeth are swords, whose fangs are knives, devouring the oppressed from the land and the needy from among mankind. The leech has 2 daughters. Give, give. 3 things are never satisfied. 4 never say enough. Sheol, a childless womb. Earth, which is never satisfied with water. And fire, which never says enough. As for the eye that ridicules a father and despises obedience to a mother, may ravens of the valley pluck it out. Young vultures eat it. 3 things are too wondrous for me. 4 I can't understand. The way of an eagle in the sky, the way of a snake on a rock, the way of a ship at sea, and the way of a man with a young woman. This is the way of an adulteress. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I've done nothing wrong. The earth trembles under 3 things. It cannot bear up under 4. A servant when he becomes king, a fool when he is stuffed with food, an unloved woman when she marries, and a servant girl when she ousts her queen. 4 things on earth are small, yet they are extremely wise. Ants are not a strong people, yet they store up their food in the summer. Hyraxes are not a mighty people, yet they make their homes in the cliffs. Locusts have no king, yet all of them march in ranks. A lizard can be caught in your hands, yet it lives in kings' palaces. 3 things are stately in their stride. 4 are stately in their walk. A lion which is mightiest among beasts, and doesn't retreat before anything, a strutting rooster, a goat, and a king at the head of his army. If you have been foolish by exalting yourself, or if you've been scheming, put your hand over your mouth. For the churning of milk produces butter, and twisting a nose draws blood, and stirring up anger produces strife. So be careful. Be careful. Be careful about all your big talk. Big talk. Churning milk produces butter, twisting a nose draws blood, and stirring up anger produces strife. You may end up in a bad way. Last chapter, chapter 31, the words of King Lemuel, a pronouncement that his mother taught him. What should I say, my son? What, son of my womb? What, son of my vows? Do not spend your energy on women or your efforts on those who destroy kings. It is not for kings, Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine or for rulers to desire beer. Otherwise he will drink, forget what is decreed, and pervert justice for all the oppressed. Give beer to one who is dying, and wine to one whose life is bitter. Let him drink so he can forget his poverty and remember his trouble no more. Speak up for those who have no voice, for the justice of all who are dispossessed. Speak up, judge righteously, and defend the cause of the oppressed and needy. End of the book. You've heard this before. Who can find a wife of noble character? She is more precious, far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will not lack anything good. She rewards him with good, not evil, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with willing hands. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from far away. She rises while it is still night and provides food for her household and portions for her female servants. She evaluates a field and buys it. She plants a vineyard with her earnings. She draws on her strength and reveals that her arms are strong. She sees that her profits are good, and her lamp never goes out at night. She extends her hands to the spinning staff, and her hands hold the spindle. Her hands reach out to the poor, and she extends her hands to the needy. She is not afraid for her household when it snows, for all in her household are doubly clothed. She makes her own bed coverings. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known at the city gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes and sells linen garments. She delivers belts to the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she can laugh at the time to come. Her mouth speaks wisdom, and loving instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the activities of her household and is never idle. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also praises her. Many women have done noble deeds, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord will be praised. Give her the reward for her labor, and let her works praise her at the city gates. These last few chapters, they're different, obviously, than the earlier chapters we've looked at. Hagar wanted to give three things are like this, and then there's a fourth. Three things, and then there's a fourth, helping us understand some of the unusual things in nature, unusual things we see around us. Then you get King Lemuel, which really is King Lemuel reporting what his mother said to him, that don't drink the wine and the beer. Therefore, people, one of them for the man who is sentenced to death, and the other is for the one who is in such great sadness and disappointment and such great poverty and all of that. Remember the poor, uphold justice, and rule in the light and the favor of God. So that's wonderful advice for anyone going into leadership. Then you have this marvelous poem here at the end. Who can find a wife of noble character? She is far more precious than, well, jewels, it says here. I think of rubies, it's from the King James, more precious than rubies. The heart of her husband trusts in her. He will not lack anything good. It is a great blessing for a man to have a wife like this. He's taken care of, and her children are taken care of. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also praises her. Charm is deceptive. The beauty of the world is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord will be praised. A couple of times this year already, Marlene has read for us. She read Ruth and she read Esther. And by far, the greatest response we've gotten to any, none of my readings have gotten the response. And folks have been very kind to me personally about my readings, but the overwhelming response to Marlene. A woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. As I say this now, 49 years we have been married. I think I know my wife pretty well. She is a woman who fears the Lord. Give her to all godly women, to all godly women everywhere. Your worth is far above rubies. You deserve everything you get. You deserve the praise that you get. You deserve the honor that you get. You deserve the reward for your labor. May your works praise you at the city gates. No woman who serves the Lord like this will ever be disappointed. You'll be glad you did, now and for eternity. So we come to the end of the book of Proverbs, and it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to me, the wisdom that's in this book. This is how life works. Live like this. Your life will work the way God intended. Ignore Proverbs at your own peril. So, folks, go out and have an amazing day. Have an amazing day. When you see a godly woman, give her the praise that she is due. Let's all walk in the way of the Lord. For the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. May that be true of you and of me today. God bless. Tomorrow, guess what? We're going to hop from the Old Testament into the New Testament, the fantastic book of 2 Corinthians. Don't miss it. See you right back here tomorrow. God bless.